All right. Well, welcome St. Patrick's Day meeting of the Akron Tree Commission, March 17th. It's 1:34. I will call the meeting to order. Would you like to take the roll?
Sure. Augusta,
Here.
Viviano, here. Forte,
Here.
Fusco,
Present.
Lash, Ricciuti,
Present.
Robinson, Bradenberg,
Here.
and Wyatt.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Fabulous. Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes from the last meeting? Are there any additions, corrections? Not hearing any, I'll entertain a motion to receive the minutes as presented.
Make a motion to approve them.
Okay. Second?
I
I'll
second.
Okay.
I'll do a roll call. Augusta,
Aye.
Viviano, aye. Forte,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Ricciuti,
Aye.
Bradenberg,
Aye.
and Wyatt.
Aye.
The motion to approve the minutes passes.
Fabulous. Okay. Well, our perpetual first item on unfinished business is public education. Matt's not here, is he? Because he had said that he had some material that he was going to try and work up for the Maple Fest, but I hadn't heard any more, and I thought he was going to be here today. So I don't have anything to add. Does anybody? Okay, well, I guess we'll just kick that one down the road. Upcoming events. We know Arbor Day is coming. I know no more details. Jackie, do you?
Sorry. There has been some stuff that they've shared, and I'm guessing I think Leah and Jessica are on the call. I don't see them, but
Yeah, they're there.
I don't know if they want to share that. I can pull up the flyer and share what I know, but maybe
That would
better
be
for
great.
them.
Yeah. So Mark Goldenbaum from the I team created an Arbor Day event flyer. And once we kind of get approval from everybody, we can start distributing these. And him, Mark, Zoe, I, and Matt had gone out to Lane Field last Friday, making sure that the site was ADA accessible, that it was a good space for the event, and we can confirm that it is. I think we're all aware that there will be 2 ADA accessible porta potties on site that we're going to be bringing in. There's the perfect little area for the children's play space, free tree giveaway. So really, I'm just confirming that Lane Field will be a good spot. And we're going to be printing out signs that help direct traffic and parking. And there was some talk about creating signage and placing it in the neighborhood for Arbor Day to try to get some neighbors, people that live in that space, to the event. And there was also some discussion on having a food truck.
Ooh.
So, yeah. We think it's going to be a perfect location, and we are going to just update you as we gather more information.
My recollection of Lane Field is that it's fairly large. The Akron General Group did some tree planting a couple of years ago. I think there were some fruit trees. Where is the tree planting for Arbor Day going to be in relationship to that?
The tree planting will be around the playground and close to the fruit trees.
Okay, great.
And we're also looking at, oh gosh, I think it's the west side of the soccer field. There's some areas to plant over there as well.
Okay.
So it's a little bit more of a walk, but we have, Matt and I can kind of divide and conquer. And once we do our initial tree planting demonstration, we can say, hey, across the parkway, follow Leah, and we'll plant trees over there. And then Matt can kind of stick around closer to the event and the playground and help people plant trees closer to that, the pavilion.
Okay, yeah, that's where, yeah, I know where that is. Okay, my apologies. We have a visitor today. Her name is Ren Herterfer. As the best she can do, it's the best I can do. She is working with Mark Goldenbaum and his team, and she wanted to sit in on the meeting today to see kind of what it is we do. So, welcome, Ren.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Nice to be here.
Okay. Okay, that's Arbor Day. Any other upcoming events that I don't know about? Which is entirely possible because I've been housebound for the last 2 weeks. Okay, not hearing any. Project Acorn, Jessica.
Hi.
Hi there.
So, Project Acorn will be donating the trees for the Arbor Day event, for both planting and handing out to volunteers. We are due to start our next cohort for Project Acorn on March 30th. We have 5 out of 6 of our second, we're calling it the Birch cohort. 5 out of 6 are hired and ready to start, and we're just waiting on that 6th one to make it through the city processing. So that's really exciting for us. This is the last one that we'll do internally, and then we'll have a partner to do the next couple of cohorts past that. But we're still really focusing in those 5 neighborhoods for planting. To remind you guys, it's Sherbondi Hill, Summit Lake, South Akron, East Akron, and Middlebury. So we are pretty excited. We're getting ready. We plan on planting 150 trees in neighborhoods, both public and private property. So that is something else that, we were kind of hoping to utilize the tree commission to, help us. We're working on a flyer that we can hand out in ward meetings or in public meetings or whatever, that people can sign up and we'll come plant a tree in their yard if they live in those neighborhoods and own that property, or if it's a business or whatever, and they promise to protect those trees for 5 years. So we are almost done with our flyer, which will have a little QR code. And that QR code, they can just scan it, and there's a really quick form. They can even pick the kinds of trees. We have the list of all the trees that we have available. They can pick the kind of trees, and then Leah and I will go out and do a site visit to make sure that the tree that they picked will live in their soil, because Akron is a very strong right tree, right place city. And if it's not the right kind of tree, we'll work with the homeowner to find one that is. But we are, we will still be planting on public property as well, but we'd really like to focus the last couple of cohorts on trying to find private properties to plant and partnerships with businesses and things, to really connect canopy past the municipally owned property boundaries. So I think that in a nutshell is our update for Project Acorn.
That's fabulous. That's fabulous. Any questions, anybody? Thank you very much. Yes, Jeff.
My question is, Jessica, did you say beyond our borders, planting trees, or did I
Beyond
mishear?
the city, what we own, like city properties. So we
Okay.
can plant on city properties with no issue. we need to get out of our own city properties and start planting with our
Private.
neighbors in those neighborhoods.
Okay, good. All right. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. I know that was part of the mission. I just misunderstood. Thank you.
I have to say, I'm so excited that we're not having to plant in everybody's tree lawn. It gives options to people,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for a nicer, larger tree if they're willing to commit to keeping it alive, of course. But I think that's exciting that we're moving beyond only planting tree lawns and public parks, if I say it that way.
Yeah, and
Yep.
for this grant, we cannot plant in the Devil Strip. We have to plant within actual property. So that is exciting because it means we can't just kind of plop them down into those strips. We actually can help people beautify their yards.
Right, right.
And I'm wondering if we might actually get more interest from people if it becomes sort of their tree.
I would think so.
I
Yeah,
would hope so.
yeah.
Okay. Well, this is all good news. Okay, Matt's not with us.
I do have one quick question
Yeah.
about that this grant. So you obviously just mentioned about how there's funding for planting on individuals' properties that would be outside of the Devil Strip. What sort of support is there for individuals that then might have uh, down the road potential tree issues? Are they just taking on that liability 100% with that, or is there a plan to have future funding for potential tree removal of those specific trees? Not any trees, but just those specific trees if there's any issues with those.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So the grant is 5 years. We're in year 3 of 5. So we have 2 years left of the grant. The other part of the grant is that workforce development. So I mentioned we had 5 out of 6 hired. So they're the ones who will be doing the tree planting. But also as part of this program, each cohort will go back and visit plantings that we did in previous cohorts to do pruning and mulching to make sure the tree didn't die. We can replace them if they did through the grant. Now, that being said, when the grant is over in 2028, I won't have a workforce to go do that anymore. But we will support and we'll try to get those trees the best head start that we possibly can, through, because we do a spring and a fall cohort. So we'll have 2 this year and then 2 again next year. So anybody who does take a tree, we will be back to check on the health of that tree. And even that's great education for future workforce people to come in and see work, that's already been done, that then they can see, oh, well, this tree was planted and it died and we had to replace it, or this tree needs pruned now and here's what we need to do and why we do it. So I can't promise that the city will have money in 10 years to come back and prune these trees through Project Acorn. So there is some liability, but just with any tree that, you might buy at Lowe's or Home Depot or something, only we're going to plant it for you and kind of help give it a little boost in the first year or 2.
Gotcha. No, this answers a number of my questions, Jessica, so thank you for that. The impetus, I guess, for my question is that in the last year, I've been to a handful of city council, not city council, but individual council meetings or ward meetings, I'm sorry, individual ward meetings. And some residents have inquired about tree removal. And the conversation has typically been around trees on the Devil Strip, but there has been 1 or 2 questions that I've dealt with that people have asked about tree removal on private property specifically. And that typically has been, as far as I've understood, something that the city hasn't done. And so my assumption was that for the sake of this portion of Project Acorn grants, if there was an issue with the tree while there was funding for Project Acorn within those years, then the city would work with the homeowner or the resident. But after that, it's kind of caveat emptor. So yeah, that was my assumption. I just wanted to make sure. So thank you for
Okay. Any other questions on Project Acorn?
Jeff
I
has his hand
see.
raised.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
I do have a question, Sarah,
Okay.
if you don't mind. And Jessica, the number one is like the marketing piece because Gabe is right. It seems as though in a lot of circles in some areas of town, trees kind of get a bad rap, I guess, for lack of a better term. And
Yeah.
so it's, the marketing of this program would be, how are we going about that, number one? And then the second question is that the curious, Jessica, about the budget piece in terms of the cohort and bringing people in, because I believe the impressive part for me is seeing, we're kind of developed with this grant. We're able, as we mentioned in council a couple weeks ago, we're developing a bench, if you will, of people who are learning how to maintain trees. And in the past, I'm not going to say names or anything like that, but it wasn't a priority for many. And now it's become more and more of a priority. We have all these great organizations involved. We have so much momentum in this moment. I hate to see us lose it. And I'm curious, like I said, number one, I guess the marketing piece and how do we do that? And maybe we should reevaluate how we're helping. And secondly, how much budget would that take? Maybe not as robust as you currently have, but perhaps something, like for just a couple people, possibly budgetarily. What would that look like? Thank you.
Yeah. So we are developing a flyer with Leah had mentioned the city's I-Team before. That's the Bloomberg folks. I think they're grant funded as well. I'm not sure. But they've been helping us kind of create some marketing materials to hand out. So we are very close to having one for the tree like for handing out at ward meetings, for example. So we have a list of council folk who are within our neighborhoods and when their ward meetings are. And we do plan on attending ward meetings in April, kind of divide and conquer to get out and talk to the neighborhoods and maybe hand out those flyers. I know that Leah has been attending outdoor type of events to try and sign people up. It's very grassroots, word of mouth kind of marketing. One of the best things that we had going for us, and I'm really hoping that we are able to sign people up at our Arbor Day event. When we are out planting a tree in someone's yard, people in the neighborhood walk by and they say, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I can have a tree. Can I sign up?" And we actually got several people to sign up for trees just because they walked by while we were planting someone else's tree, or someone else was like, "Oh my God," told their mom, their brother, their sister, their neighbor. And then next thing you know, we're planting a tree here or there or wherever. You know, we're trying to be careful about messaging because it really is just in those 5 neighborhoods. And it gets rough when someone's like, "Well, I live 3 blocks outside of, East Akron." I understand and I'm sorry, right? We're constrained with this grant. As far as funding goes, we have funding, and I'm not sure. Maybe you could clarify what exactly you're asking funding wise. As far as marketing, we're doing most of it internally, so we don't have a ton of funding available. We can print signs and materials. We can physically attend things. But I think the Arbor Day event will help us, especially because this event is right in one of our neighborhoods that we really want to focus on this year. And even if people aren't ready for a tree this year, we can sign them up, or the spring, we can sign them up for the fall, we can sign them up for next year, because we'll have that capacity to do that work still. As far as budgeting past the grant, I can't speak to that. That is above what I have jurisdiction over at the moment.
I understand, but I guess my question mostly was surrounded about, those individuals. You mentioned 5 or 6 individuals that were training, were preparing, and
Yes.
were getting ready. Okay, and maybe it's not 5 or 6, maybe it's 2 or 3, and maybe it's, how much is that portion And I know it goes above and beyond just pay, but I think it's something to think about moving forward. Because, like I said, it's very robust in terms of developing people that can show an interest, and it's economic development to a smaller degree, but it still is.
Yeah.
And giving people hope in terms of a job and a future. And so I think that part of it is kind of important. And I appreciate you telling us, or at least me, I apologize to our friends from the well, you just mentioned what's it called? I team
The
or
I
whatever.
team.
I
Yeah.
didn't know what that was about. No one has told me.
Mhm.
So I
Well,
appreciate them being here, and I guess they're involved. I didn't even know who the fellow was sending out stuff. No one mentioned, and I was late to a meeting once. So, but regardless, that's great that they're helping.
so, and let me, if you guys don't mind, and I know I don't want to steal too much more time, but very, very quickly on the workforce development piece. So we will be doing 6 people. We did 5 in the first cohort because we had someone drop out, but we graduated 5 people from our first cohort. We have 6 in this, and like I said, we have 2 this year, 2 next year. So each cohort is a maximum of 6 participants. 5 graduated. We help them try to acquire a pesticide license for the state of Ohio. If there's GED work, that's paid for in the grant for them to try and get a GED if that's not something they have the opportunity for. There could be funding depending on like trying to get driver's license. Like if they can't work for the city with that, but our partner in the future will be able to hire people without a license. So if that's something that we can help pay for to facilitate that they can get jobs. As part of the academy, every Thursday we have some type of soft skills training that the city of Akron's HR team comes out and does. So customer service, communication, career development. And then we do job fairs. We take them around to different locations within the city to say, here's all these different job opportunities within the city that exist you may not know about. Put them in front of hiring managers. One of the ladies who runs the program, Barb, likes to say this is an 8-week interview. And it is because, we get businesses come out. So like we had Barberton Tree and Suncrest Gardens come out and talk about what they do, meet our folks, give them the ability. We had computers help them apply for jobs. We help them with resumes and resume building. This is very much, we want every single person who graduates from our academy to find a job, either within the city or working for something in the city. Like that is a big piece of this. I don't know about funding into the future. I'd love to make this kind of an internship that the city could create. But for now, the grant will fund the next 2 years, and we're going to do the best we can with that.
But I think it might be worthy of this commission. Of course, I'm leaving, so it's easy for me to say, but as a joke. But I think it would be worthy for discussion in the future in terms of looking at that and maybe looking at nonprofit, maybe look at the business community because you hear more and more from the business community. It's hard to get good people, and so they may be interested in sponsoring. It's a write-off for them. They donate to a group, a nonprofit or something, and then that group could possibly be part of it. And there's ways to go about this, I think, and it's again worthy of discussion, and it fits perfectly within our mission, and I think it's something that we should consider. That's all. And just
I would love the help. That'd be great.
thank you.
Great.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I have here, well, Matt has joined us. I'm not quite sure if he just wants to listen to what's going on or if he wants to contribute. I did have a question, Matt, which is why I'm glad you're here. You had said something last time about having some materials that we could take to events. We weren't able to attend the Maple Festival, but I was just wondering where that might be.
Yeah, so I have the trifold brochure that we developed last year.
Okay,
So I'll make sure I have that at Arbor Day.
okay.
And I can also get like a sign printed, like just a paper sign, so nothing super fancy that says Akron Tree Commission with our logo on it. Just to have something on the our booth or the table.
Let me ask you this because I know FedEx does banners, and I'm a master gardener, and we have a banner that drapes over a table. So you don't have to worry so much about the paper sign blowing away. You just put it in our logo and everything would be hanging on the front of the table. And then we could have all our material back there. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, I can see if, I can get some prices for
Okay.
that and see if we'd be able to pay for that.
Okay. I don't know. The city might have the capability somewhere. I'm not privy to all of that stuff, but
If they do, I have not heard about it. Like I know we could
okay.
print out posters and signs, like metal signs even, which
Mm-hmm.
might be kind of cool, but those are expensive.
Yeah.
This might be cheaper.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, go ahead.
have any of you ever gone to the library and done a banner? It's like less than $10 a foot, $3 a foot or something. Their limit is 27 inches wide. That would be the kicker, but they could be joined, I'm sure.
I'd
Well,
like to. Oh, I'm so sorry, Sandy.
No, I'm just saying I took the first class. When I went back, the machine was broken, so I've not actually done it. But as opposed to, for the club I belong to, as opposed to paying someone to do it for you for $100 and more, certainly, it was like pennies on the dollar. And it's the program called Canva, Canva, that
okay.
you create on your own computer and then take your little, I'm so clueless, take your own little drive thing in there and they help you. They will help you when they're available.
That's
So
great. That's great.
I don't know now what other kind of printed materials you can do, but being able to do a banner was what I got caught up in, thinking that terrific way to save money for a nonprofit.
Yeah, because it doesn't need to be really wide. What we need is, because the one that I know about isn't much more than 27 inches wide.
Mhm.
But it drapes down and it has the
You'd,
logo
you'd have
and
to attach it to the table or the
you
tablecloth one
just
way or
lay it.
another. I mean,
It's long enough that you just lay it over the
oh,
table
okay. Okay.
or put weights on it so it can hang down.
Yeah.
So I think that's an excellent possibility.
Hey, Sarah,
And
can I intervene for a second?
mhm,
So in traffic and engineering in the city, we have a really amazing print shop where we can print on corrugated plastic. We can do metal signs, like Matt said. We have the ability to do banners too.
There you go.
So what I can do is
Yes.
I can reach out to my contact there and say, hey, do you have banner material already? And if he does, we could easily just print out, a banner for you. But the library is a perfect plan B. And so what I'd need the PDF of the logo and just maybe a confirmation on like the colors and the background, or I can kind of play around with that. But I'll let you know next meeting if that's something we can do internally or if you need to go to the library.
fabulous. Fabulous. So we've got a lot of low cost alternatives. So great. Thanks, Matt. Anything else?
No, no,
Okay.
I've got nothing.
Okay. Okay. Um, well, because we've already discussed Arbor Day and Jessica's already discussed spring planting with the Project Acorn folks. So I guess I'm going to move on to new business and ward meetings. Somebody brought that up. I can't remember who. Was that you, Jeff? No?
I mentioned it as an aside over the last year or so,
Okay.
board meetings, but yeah, it was in regards to Project Acorns and tree questions people had. But yeah, that was it.
Okay. Okay. But no, nothing new on ward meetings, no new requests. Sarah would know that. Okay. We have, I take it, other than Ren, we have nobody requested to speak to the commission?
That's correct.
Okay. So for the good of the order, I just
Jeff
want
has something.
to, hmm?
Jeff has something it looks like he wanted to mention.
If I could, President, um, just wanted to mention maybe in advance of our Arbor Day celebration, perhaps the commission, along with the city folks and everyone, the whole gang, can come to city council and kind of, update council in terms of that particular event, as well as, update council, with regards to everything and offer again to, go out and talk to the wards, ward meetings. Especially with regards to those the mission that Jessica has, Project Acorn, and just inform council. Who knows? Maybe just maybe we might get a little bit of press out of it, to inform everyone, and it could help build perhaps that day. So just an idea. I don't know, Sarah Biviano, she likes scheduling these things, so.
Yeah,
Um,
I can work with Sarah and come up with a date and then reach out to the chair of the Public Service Committee and try to come up with something that we would be able to come present.
okay, I'm looking at my calendar and Arbor Day is the 24th. So we really, if we're going to be before council, it would probably be best to either be the 13th, which would give us a little bit of lead time, or the 20th. Those two Mondays make the most sense to me. Uh, Anybody have any other suggestions? Okay, okay. Okay, now for the good of the order. I'm glad you came to our meeting today, Mr. Fusco, because as you all probably know by now, he's taking his leave of Akron City Council, which means he's taking his leave of the Tree Commission. I myself am sad about that. He is invaluable in terms of advice, in terms of connecting us. I'm gonna cry. Um, but you've been a good friend of the Tree Commission as long as you've been here and long before that. And I just want to express my gratitude on behalf of the commission for all you've given us and wish you the very best in whatever it is you decide to do in your retirement.
Thank you. That's very nice. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Just that, thank you. And I really owe a lot of this to our friend, Rich Swirsky. Him and I started this journey, a long time ago. Now it's my wife's. Should I take that or talk to you guys?
Yeah.
I'll tell her I'll call her back. But anyways, no, Rich and I started this a long time ago with city folks and everyone with the passion. And I know that, he's probably sitting in some tree up in heaven, looking down on us and probably say, "You guys are doing it. You're doing it." And it warms my heart to see, again, we're developing people for the future. And, like I said, for years and years, trees weren't a priority. Our ordinance hadn't been updated in 50 years. We updated it, Rich and I, along with our colleagues on council. Now people on city council are talking about trees in a good way. There is some neighborhoods where it's not so positive, and that's, we really have to get our arms around, trying to market that better. But where we started and where we're at today, amazing. And it's all of you that's done that, as well as our city folks and our civil servants, who, of course, I'm a big fan of all of them. So, but thank you so much, everyone, for working with me and being patient. I know I've been somewhat absent of late, but I'm still a fan, and if I can help, I'll be around. So
You're welcome to
you all.
visit anytime. You know when and where we are.
Do I get 3 minutes a month or no? Once a month, Sarah? It's 3 minutes, right? I can talk.
You can check with Sarah. She'll sign you up.
It's a bad joke. I'm sorry. I'm probably gonna take a hit for that one, but it's not funny. But thank you all so much. It's thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anything else for the good of the order? Well, I thank you all for being with us. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And it is 2:09, and I will adjourn today's meeting of the Tree Commission. Thank you all very much for being here.